Hello and welcome to today's WS Display webinar centering on the VAIL-120DB and VAIL-180D large SEG extrusions for backlit applications. Backlit displays are very popular in the display world, and they're surging in popularity mainly because LED lighting technology has improved greatly and also become more affordable. So why do we use and promote backlit displays and light boxes? They obviously draw attention and they add extra light to almost every display. The sensation between silicone edge graphics being used with aluminum extrusion and LED lighting has been in play for a long time, but it's traditionally been exceedingly expensive and pretty much out of range for many clients. Here at WS, we've changed that with a very competitive price structure to add these two displays. In many cases, most backlight displays of a larger scale are either part of a larger custom build or they can be standalone, as you see here. Today, we want to focus on the best solutions offered by WS Display for these larger footprint backlit display builds. And these options include VAIL-120DB and VAIL-180D. So let's take a look at these extrusions in depth. Here you'll see a cross-section of the extrusion that measures metrically 120 millimeters wide and imperially 4.72 inches wide. This spine here in the middle, which is a European system groove, as it's also referred to, is low. Low meaning it's right down next to the base of the extrusion, which is important because that avoids shadowing and lighting strips or ladder lights in backlit applications. It is a double-sided SEG groove extrusion, so you have SEG grooves on both sides of the extrusion for double-sided displays. It can be used in a standalone or hang overhead or anywhere where double-sided graphics are important. The outside edge, as you see here on the frame of the extrusion, is smooth for a finished look. It comes in matte gray as opposed to a shiny silver look. And we offer tools-free and tooled connection options for easy to custom modifications for your display. The VAIL-180D measures metrically 180 millimeters from side to side, imperially equaling 7 inches in width. And there are 3 spines in this particular case and are low as well to the base of the extrusion. 2 of these, the 2 on the outside, one here and one here, are used for connecting hardware, while the middle one is utilized for lighting placement, whether it's edge lighting or ladder lighting that we'll talk more about in just a moment. This is the best extrusion for a freestanding display mainly because of its width. It's 7 inches wide, and depending on the size, does not necessarily require base plates or any kind of foot for stabilization. It is once again a double-sided extrusion for SEG, allowing you for double-sided fabric extrusion placement, and also its extra secured sturdiness with dual locks. And you'll see that in just a minute. You'll have 2 locks instead of 1 lock that you just saw in the VAIL-120. And basically, it's the same extrusion with a larger footprint for taller, longer, and wider applications. When it comes to LED lighting, we have 2 different types that we utilize. One is for LED edge lights, or commonly referred to as strips of edge lighting. You'll see 5 diodes here of various lights that are available for each strip, and then these connectors on each end allow them to be daisy chained together and connected to create perimeter lighting on a display. The other option is LED ladder lights. As you see here, they kind of look like Venetian blinds. They roll out and they offer a wider spread of, and maybe even in some cases, a better throw of lighting. As you go across the strip, they are spaced out a little closer in space, and they are available from WS as single and double-sided lighting applications. When it comes to the locks for these VAIL-120DB and VAIL-180 profiles, we have different ones, including tooled ones called triangular tooled corners. These are triangular in shape. They are for square and 90-degree corners, as you see here. And they're comprised of 2 plates, a front and a back plate. And they use these 2 screws with a Torx wrench that when you tighten them, separate the plates and cause a friction connection of each 45-degree mitered corner. The one at the bottom is our tool-free L corner shape. It's for 90-degree as well as square corners, and it's an upgraded tool-free corner, and it connects by pushing down these thumb press buttons on both sides. We also have what's known as a tool-free center connector. It splices two pieces of extrusion together to lengthen two pieces to one piece. You just slide it into the middle between two pieces and push the buttons down accordingly. And then we have a variable angle connector, and this one allows for corners to be connected in a greater than or less than 90-degree situation. We actually have some application photos of these in use. Once again, you just push the corners buttons down to make a connection and a lock. Here's a picture of the VAIL-120DB using the triangular version in the system groove. When you tighten these two screws, they separate these plates and allow for a connection to occur. The L corner connector, here's two of them utilized in the VAIL-180D. Slide them in, bring your 45-degree mitered extrusion together, push the buttons up and lock them, and you've got a connection. And then the splice connector that you see here that we talked about earlier. As far as other application photos, here's one on the left of a standard application. This, in my estimation, is a single-sided with a blocker on the back, meaning it's lit going in one direction, while you have block-out graphics on the back to keep ambient light from coming in and shining shadows across your graphics. So it's a pretty dynamic-looking display here. On the right is an example of an oversized, tall, and a wide backlit graphic that we have the potential of doing at WS. We do have the ability to suspend hanging light boxes of these two extrusions in the air that you see here in a private event environment. And then over here on the right, we actually have an angled wall using those angled tools-free connectors that you saw earlier in the presentation. This angular tools-free connector, and this particular booth was a third-party frame system, but they wanted the right tool company, the end user in this display. They wanted their logo replicated, which, as you could tell here, was angular, and we were the only solution they could find that could provide a backlit light box on top of this frame system. So that's a neat looking addition to the display that we were able to provide for them. And then these large archways that you see a lot in exhibits between, I would say, 12 to 16 foot tall, 4 and 5 feet wide, create an entranceway look, whether it's a separation archway entrance or even a semi-private conference room. We do that a lot with these types of applications. As you can see here, we have tall light boxes that are standalone, and a lot of times there is concern about those being too top heavy, falling over. So what we offer is a solution known as Yeti feet. As you can see in the photo on the left, you have this Y-shaped looking foot that goes on either side of the display that's 12 to 16 feet tall and maybe only 3 or 4 or 5 feet wide. So there's concern there for stability. If that's not a solution that's desirable by the client, then we suggest putting a counter, maybe 3 or 4 foot tall, in front of the light box in order to create a sturdiness there in a freestanding application. But the Yeti feet allow for the entire graphic to be seen on the light box in this application. And then finally, over here on the right is an application I thought was pretty cool, and that's a standard counter that was really spruced up with a double-sided light box that you see here. So you have color, you've got light, and you've got a graphic there that actually picks up the look of a standard counter in a custom display booth. We'll finish up today's webinar with a short video that actually shows a build using the tools-free connectors and the VAIL-180D. Thanks for watching today's webinar for the VAIL 120DB and VAIL 180D extrusions for lightbox and backlit applications. If you have any questions regarding these extrusions or others from WS, feel free to email me at mike@wsdisplay.com.